Hello, Weekend Tarot, February the 11th, and I'm looking at this fable in our spiritual almanac. And I expect we probably read this last year, but do you know what? There are two things to that. One, I've forgotten, because I forget everything, and probably so do you, although not as badly as me. And then also, I think, in my own learning experience, and let me know in the comments how you feel about this, I am a big fan of reading and rereading. So I know that I got into university with grades that weren't as good as they were expecting. It was quite a high threshold back then because you didn't have to pay. And I remember writing on, you have your statement. I remember writing on there, I think I've told you this before, I can get everything I need out of one book. And I do believe this, that repetition of one brilliant thought teaches you a lot forever. So anyway, I can't remember if this was brilliant or not, so I may be falsely advertising it, but it's a fable of two wolves. Probably did it last week or something. Okay, I do remember doing this actually, let me know. Two wolves. One calm evening under a sky full of stars. A Cherokee elder was sitting by a fire with his grandson, sharing stories and wisdom passed down to him by his grandfather. He spoke of a battle that goes on inside most people. The battle is between two wolves inside us all, he told his grandson. One of the wolves is fear. It is anger, jealousy, greed, regret, envy, worry, arrogance, self-pity, just one of my average nights they're describing here. Guilt, resentment, inferiority, false truths, pride, superiority and ego. 4 o'clock in the morning, here we come. The other is love, kindness, joy, peace, present, hope, serenity, humility, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion and trust. The boy thought about what his grandfather had said for a minute and did a maths face. That's just me. Asking, grandfather, which of the two wolves will win? Whichever one you feed, the old man replied. And I get that. And it's true, isn't it? And I don't know why. And I've sort of read psychological accounts as to why. Apparently because our brain is supposed to keep us safe, it's always naturally going to fall to the part which is negative. So watching out for negatives. Be careful of this, be safe with that and all the rest of it. So maybe that's why, if you get a couple of positive feedbacks and maybe a couple of negative feedbacks, you hone in on the negative ones first, don't you? I know I've been guilty of that, definitely. So, plenty to think about there. Now we have the moon in Aquarius on Saturday, but people, it's moving into Pisces around lunchtime and there it will stay for the rest of the weekend. So what do we need to be doing? Bubble baths, swimming, being near water. It's raining at the moment anyway. But reading a lovely book, curled up, making cakes. Generally doing things that feel kind of loose and flexible. That kind of stuff. God, that's a good stretch. Should we have a few cards? Yes, we will. Okay, what shall we have? Yesterday, I couldn't find the boxes. It's weird for any of my tarot cards. And I actually gave up in the end. I just recorded a reading. And then today I got up and they're all there. And it does make you... I honestly think there are things that fidget when you're not there. Stuff that moves your stuff. Things that move your things. Let me know your thoughts about that as well. Okay, I'm going to take one of those. I'm feeling a bit omelette-y this weekend reading. I don't even know if I mentioned it's the weekend reading. Saturday the 10th, Sunday the 11th. So the mid-month should be out. So the mid-month for all signs time-stamped. Aiming to get it out alongside this one or very shortly afterwards. So look out for that. It's a good one actually. Oh. Oof. These cards are very jumpy. Whoa, that's a lot. Okie dokie. What aspects of myself do I hide from others and why? I love that picture. What aspects of yourself are you hiding from other people? This could also be about shadow aspects. Things that you may consider to be ugly, greedy, too much, too extra, too eccentric, those sorts of things. And why do you hide them? Probably rooted in shame, I would have thought. Also, in this book that we just did the wolf thingy out of, she says that February is her month for talking about self-love. So I guess we're kind of talking about self-love in a way. So once you learn to love the aspects of yourself that you're ashamed of or that make you feel embarrassed, that make your cheeks turn hot, while you're talking about them, there's a massive freedom in that. How do I view my body? How has it affected my self-esteem? So this can be about body image, it can be about body type, but it can also be about your body history. You think to yourself, I'm not very good at riding a bike. I'm not very good at jumping. I don't know, things that we have that are historical, or things that we have in our body, ailments, chronic things that just define us maybe more than they should do. It's about breaking free of that. I know that sometimes if you have something chronic and you think, well, I can't do this, that whole negative side of the brain. And I've definitely done that as well. Sometimes you just try it anyway and you think, well, that disappeared when I was doing X or Y. Why is that? I think it's about pushing yourself beyond your particular boundary, and all our boundaries are different. So there is no comparison. I have friends that are bionic. I watch them and I literally, my mouth is open. I just think, how can you do all of those things? And they're like, they don't even think anything of it. They've got like 4 appointments in a day. They got this, they got that. Last week, I think I had what I would call inverted commas. And I'm a Pisces and we don't like these things I have to do. Okay, I don't mind things I choose to do, but things I have to do is very, very difficult. And I think I had consecutive things I had to do on 3 days, and they were from the beginning of the day to the end. It had just gone the wrong way in terms of, diary booking or whatever. And by the end of those 3 days, I was practically beside myself. I think it was around the time that I had the computer man in. I know. I think he kicked it off. I think he was the beginning. And then there was just more and more and more. And I could feel myself depleting, like sort of melting, like the witch that melts into the shoes, I felt that happening. And there wasn't much I could do about it at the time. And there's no point comparing yourself to other people. There are other people that are much more bionic than me who can do a million different things and do. So it's about knowing yourself. It's always that oracle at Delphi, isn't it? Know thyself. And know when you're moving beyond your limits. There are times in my life when I can do multiple things. There are times in my life when I can't. I can, like today, for example, I was going to do X, Y, and Z. And I think I did 2 loads of washing, one of which I hung on the heated area. God bless you, because it's raining at the moment. I did 2 loads of washing, and I think I filled the dishwasher and switched it on. I spoke to the boy about renting a house at university, which is where he's at the moment. And that was me done. I literally became completely woozy, and I thought, right, I'm going to get up and start filming. And that was 2.5 hours ago. I fell asleep where I sat with a cat on top of me. Possibly I'd just eaten 2 pieces of chocolate brownie for breakfast. I'm not advertising that as any kind of way to live. But what I did do was I gave in. I gave in to my body, and it just said, you're going to eat 2 pieces of chocolate brownie and fall asleep with it on top of you. There you go. And I do feel the better for it. So it's also about listening to the signals from your body and reading it compassionately, rather than, and I've definitely done this, thinking, why can't I do X, Y, and Z? Why can't I do a million things? And then this bad boy, what are the toxic relationships or connections that I need to let go of? Well, I'm just about to do a love reading, so that might come up in there. I think it probably will. February for me, and January, and pretty much since November, I've seen a lot of catharsis, a lot of what I would call devil in reverse. So this is something not to hammer yourself with, and it's not just about romantic relationships either. It can be parents, friends, your relationship to X. My relationship to chocolate brownies is probably not that healthy. What are the toxic relationships or connections that you need to let go of? Should we have an oracle card? I would love one of these, actually. Let me know what you're up to this weekend. Are you having a quiet one? Are you going anywhere? I went to see a film last night. It was called American Fiction. It was good, actually. Yeah, you will like it if you read a lot, if you are kind of up into the literary stuff. It was dark comedy, really quite funny. Laugh out loud funny at times, which I appreciated. Oof! Oracle card, endings. There you go, endings. Endings can be very positive. In fact, not to be too philosophical and all that, without the endings, there's no beginnings, is there? Leave me a comment, check out the other readings that are out, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.